Good evening and welcome to ABC 31 News tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. The current special session could be at an impasse. The latest from Baton Rouge is our top story tonight. The issue is a $300+ million hole in the state budget, but lawmakers are split on how best to find the money. The governor and his supporters want to draw from a state savings account, but Republicans argue that's kicking the can down the road. Meanwhile, legislative leaders have already acknowledged this might not be doable. Most action today centered on efforts to remove a state senator who's been in trouble with a law over domestic violence. Violence at stores on the lower third. First, a store employee was killed last night and another was shot at, and Alexandria police say they've arrested the suspect. 25-year-old Timothy Teasley of Alexandria was taken into custody early this morning on West Sandy Bayou Drive. He is charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, possession of a gun by a felon, and resisting arrest. There was another shooting before this one, also on the lower third, where a victim who was not a store employee suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police say these 2 incidents are not connected. Alexandria police also report a shooting death on Summerwood Lane. They say the victim is 39-year-old Brent McDowell. That happened Sunday, and police are asking for your help in this investigation. Please call them if you have any information. A Dodson woman is charged with vehicular homicide in a crash that happened last fall. State troopers say 39-year-old Tina Cagle was responsible for a 2-truck head-on collision on Highway 34 in Wynn Parish, west of Holly Swamp. They say she crashed into a truck that 60-year-old William King was driving. He was also from Dodson. Alexandria police are searching for a missing girl. Aisha Bird is said to be mildly handicapped and was last seen at her home yesterday afternoon. Please call APD if you can help. Rapides deputies arrest 2 in connection with stolen vehicles, drugs, and a firearm. They're 31-year-old Santana Lorraine Johnson of Pineville and 35-year-old Daniel Joseph Guidry of Alexandria. Deputies say the couple led them on a high-speed chase before they were tracked down near Lee Bridge Road. They're charged with aggravated flight, drug charges, and illegal carrying of a weapon. Deputies say their vehicle was reported stolen from Baton Rouge, and a gun was found that had been stolen in Arkansas. Guidry is also charged with possession of a stolen vehicle. Alexandria police arrested a teen for a burglary in progress yesterday on Alma Street. 18-year-old Tevin Landers of Alexandria was arrested a short time after the break-in on Mary Street. He's also charged with possession of drugs. Rapides deputies arrest a Pineville teen for cyber-stalking and bullying. 18-year-old Gracie Elizabeth Hall is accused of victimizing a young girl through electronic media in the Tioga area. Alexandria police arrest a man who they say slashed tires of more than 20 cars parked near Lisa Street. 43-year-old Larry Simon of Alexandria was charged yesterday with criminal damage to property. Officers say he was high on drugs and alcohol. Grand deputies say the report of a disturbance in KLAX leads to drug arrests. Deputies say it happened on Hudson Creek Road, where they arrested 46-year-old Don Gibson and 57-year-old John Collins, both of Colfax. Grand deputies respond to another complaint of possible drug activity. It results in an arrest. 42-year-old Michael Marbut of Montgomery is charged with possession of various drugs, paraphernalia, resisting arrest, and obstruction of justice. A woman from St. Landry is sentenced to almost 6 years in prison for theft from an Opelousas business. 40-year-old Misty Johnson is also ordered to pay almost $300,000 in restitution to the medical imaging business where she was responsible for financial operations. And 3 prisoners at the federal penitentiary in Pollock plead guilty to assaulting a fellow inmate. They're 35-year-old Jason Dwight McKenzie, 32-year-old Robert Shipp Jr., and 42-year-old Calvin Skelton. All face up to 10 additional years in prison when they're sentenced in May. As Mardi Gras events and parades get underway, safety is always a concern. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has that story.
Mardi Gras season is in full swing with king cakes, decorations, balls, and of course parades. The first parade will kick off this weekend on Friday, February the 17th, with the Pineville Light the Night Parade. Although Mardi Gras parades are a fun time to celebrate, safety should always be remembered.
First of all, parents are taking children to these events, or grandparents sometimes, just keep an eye on your kids. We want to make sure that everybody comes to and leaves these parades safely. They are they're full of people, they're very busy, there are crowds, but as long as everybody takes care to keep an eye on their family, to stay out of the street, not cross the barricades, we usually get out of everything pretty good. It's Mardi Gras, and we understand people are going to drink. We ask people to do it responsibly, take it slow, and avoid getting into conflicts with other people around you.
Barricades line the streets during most parades to avoid people crossing the roads while the parade is in action or while residents are driving to or from parade sites.
Of course, there's the issue of crossing the parades. It is actually a city ordinance, so if you do cross the parades, you can be ticketed. And if you refuse to leave, or if you keep crossing the barricades, you can be taken to jail and booked. So just to make people aware of that. We don't want to do that. We want everybody to have a good time, but at the same time, people have to respect that the barricades are there for safety and not cross them for a cheap set of beads.
The Alexandria Mardi Gras Association 24th Annual Cruise Parade will take place on Sunday, February 26th. For a list of other parades or Mardi Gras events in Central Louisiana, you can visit alexmardigras.com. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
The Mardi Gras season will end on Fat Tuesday, which is February the 28th. Much calmer Wednesday after some storms yesterday. Let's get the latest on your weather now from Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers.
Hey, Scott. Yeah, pretty pleasant conditions out there for today. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s in most areas, about where we should be for this time of year. Our normal high here in Alexandria at 63 degrees. We had a high today of 62. Also 62 degrees in Natchitoches, 60 degrees up Monroe, 61 down in Lake Charles, 57 over in Baton Rouge. So as you get into your Thursday, a lot of sunshine back in the forecast. A little bit warmer. Should get back at least into the mid to maybe upper 60s in most areas. Now, a few rain chances try to move in as you get to your Friday, but temperatures warm up pretty nicely too, even as you get to Friday afternoon. And for the weekend, we'll see lots of sunshine in the forecast, maybe a few clouds. Try to get a few isolated showers maybe on Saturday, but right now the winner of the weekend looks on Sunday with lots of sunshine. Temperatures very close to 80 in some areas. So we'll talk more about that with your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Recently, the Office of Public Health had their child death review to discuss infant mortality rate statistics. For the past 2 years, Central Louisiana has decreased rates, which are the best in the state. ABC 31's Taylor Rubach has the story.
Every 3 months, the Office of Public Health will conduct these reviews in hopes of keeping the infant death rate down to a minimum. Since 2013, the rates have been dropping and are now the lowest in the state.
The highest we've had recently was 8.8, and then last year it dropped down to 5.5, and now it's 4.7. So these are actually well below the state average, which is 7.7.
Dr. Holcomb says there are various causes to these deaths, some of which result in smothering, sudden unexplained infant death, or trauma. But since the numbers have decreased, he says there are ways to keep this improvement moving forward.
The most important things are adequate spacing between pregnancies, pregnancies that are followed, so that they have their prenatal visits and so forth, and then that the mothers abstain from alcohol and from drugs and from tobacco, which are all clearly things that increase infant mortality.
He says he's happy to see that everyone is working together to reduce these deaths and hopes these rates for the state go even further down. In Alexandria, Taylor Rubach, ABC 31 News.
Rapides Training Academy in Rapides Parish is a unique public school with various programs for autistic and mentally disabled students. Today, the Academy celebrated Louisiana Literacy Week with a book character dress-up day. Students dressed up like their favorite children's book characters while enjoying story readings from some special guests.
To see people from the community come and interact with them, it's a little more difficult for them than it is the regular students, and they enjoy new faces, believe it or not, and they seem to really catch on to the stories when they were interactive. They enjoy interactive more than just someone just reading. They like to be part of it. So I think they really had a good time.
Rapides Training Academy also reminds the public that Autism Awareness Month is approaching. For those wanting to learn more about Rapides Training Academy, you can call 318-445-7017. Up next, President Trump welcomes Israel's prime minister amid questions over his ties with Russia. Plus, rumor has it, this top dog is also making history. ABC 31 News will be right back. President Trump is lashing out at a bombshell report that members of his campaign had repeated contact with Russian intelligence officials before he was elected. It all comes after the resignation of Trump's national security advisor. Michael Flynn left amid controversy surrounding his conversations with the Russian ambassador. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
President Trump on the defense at the White House. The New York Times reports that people inside and outside his campaign had repeated contacts with Russian intelligence officials in the year before the election.
People are trying to cover up for a terrible loss that the Democrats had under Hillary Clinton.
The Times report did not say the Trump associates knew they were talking to Russian intelligence officers, and the paper reported U.S. officials haven't seen any evidence that the Trump team cooperated with Russia in the hack of the Democrats or had anything to do with it. The White House has denied any contact with Russian officials during the campaign. On X, National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who discussed sanctions with the Russian ambassador in December, the White House said Flynn resigned because of an erosion of trust. But one day later, the president defended Flynn.
I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked.
Lawmakers on both sides calling for a bipartisan congressional investigation.
An independent outside commission, nonpartisan commission outside with subpoena power to find the truth.
If there's contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence officials outside the norm, that's not only big league bad, that's a game changer.
As outrage grows on Capitol Hill, congressional Republicans and Democrats have introduced a bill that would make it tougher for President Trump to pull back sanctions against Russia. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
The Super Bowl for dogs has a new champion. A German Shepherd named Rumor has taken home the coveted Best in Show title. ABC's Janae Norman has the highlights.
Rumor has it.
Best in Show at the 141st Annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, the German Shepherd dog.
The 5-year-old German Shepherd from Wisconsin is top dog.
Rumor wins Best in Show.
Rumor has it.
The world's most famous dog show has been bringing canines cute and cuddly, rough and tough together for 141 years. And this year, the competition was stiff.
There are a lot of great dogs, of course.
Nearly 2,800 dogs across 190 breeds, hailing from 49 states and 16 foreign countries, competing to find out who is top dog. This year, a comeback win for Rumor after falling short last year to CJ, the German short-haired pointer.
The winner of the herding group.
The pup going into retirement after her 2016 loss, but less than a year later, this dog finally had her day.
This is the second dog from the herding group to win Best in Show.
Beating out an Irish setter, a Pekingese, a boxer, a miniature poodle, plus the crowd favorite Preston the Poolie to win top prize, becoming just the second German Shepherd champion. Now that Rumor is the newest member of Pooch royalty, her family says this is it. She's officially retired. But the future looks bright for Rumor. According to her family, hers might be filled with puppies. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Always good to go out on top.
Yeah, Rumor, a good name for the dog. Maybe that's why they picked it. Rumor.
And
Rumor has
home the
keep
title.
Yeah, you can keep
that is real.
you can put that
real catchy. Yeah.
Put that together. That's for sure. But hey, put our weather together finally with some nice weather out there. Very pleasant for this time of year. Back into the mid 60s here late this afternoon. Right about where we should be this time of year. Now, as we get to the overnight hours of tonight, it may drop back into the 30s before we're right back into the mid 60s once again for our Thursday. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to you. Temperatures really not too bad out there today. We did make it back into the low to mid 60s in most areas. They have some upper 50s down to our south. They saw a few more clouds down in parts of southeastern Louisiana. But we had a high today of 62 degrees here in Alexandria, just a degree off our normal high, which is 63 for February 15. 61 degrees up in Shreveport, 60 degrees in Monroe, and 61 degrees down on Lake Charles late this afternoon. Now outside right now we're at 57 degrees with mainly clear skies. North-northwest winds continuing about 12 miles per hour. Our pressure is on the rise as high pressure does move into our area, but look at that dew point. Again, very dry weather, 36 degrees, our current dew point. And that means we'll see temperatures fall back into the 30s here overnight tonight. So a chilly start to your morning, that's for sure. Temperatures basically mid to upper 30s by tomorrow morning. But as we get a lot of sunshine back for your Thursday, should see temperatures warm up pretty nicely, getting back into the mid 60s once again. Again, seeing temperatures just slightly above average, maybe by a degree or two by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. Now, as we head to the weekend, then Friday, see some mild temperatures into the low 70s. But could see a real rain move in too on your Friday afternoon, and may keep a few isolated chances of rain in our forecast as we head into the weekend. Again, very isolated chances, maybe 20% chances of rain on your Saturday. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny skies. And I do think we'll see warmer temperatures, probably low 70s on Saturday, but could be in the upper 70s, maybe close to 80 by Sunday. And that 80-degree temperature may last into early next week as well. So definitely have some spring back in the forecast here as we get to the end of the weekend, and then especially by early next week. Now here's a look at our surface map again for your Thursday. High pressure really dominating our weather as we go through the day on your Thursday, almost basically right over top of us, seeing that high pressure area. And that means we'll see basically clear skies, maybe a few clouds from time to time, but mainly clear skies as we go through the day. And then we'll be on the warmer side of that high pressure system by the afternoon hours, and that means warmer weather moves back in. And we'll see those temperatures get back at least to the mid 60s, but again, we're going to start in the 30s, so it's going to take a little bit to get back into the mid 60s. A lot of sunshine expected across the area, but it looks like those warmer temperatures really get back in here by the time we get to Friday and into the weekend as well. 37 for tonight, mainly clear skies, a little on the chilly side, and your north winds about 5 miles per hour. As we head to your Thursday, 64, mostly sunny skies expected. Southwest winds about 5 miles per hour once again by the afternoon on your Thursday. There's that slight chance of rain we talked about on Friday. 68 degrees a high temperature, but look at that weekend into the 70s by Saturday. 76 degrees a high temperature with, again, warm sunshine expected. Even warmer on Sunday, 81 degrees. The high temperatures get to Sunday afternoon. Early next week, then we keep the warm temperatures around in the low to mid 70s, but could see a rain chance move in by about Tuesday of next week. And by then, temperatures do drop back into the low 70s by the middle part of next week. Scott?
Thank you, Chris. Coming up in sports, hear from NSU baseball's new head coach just days before his first game. And the new team one U.S. soccer player is headed to.
Never know, man. Mic check 1, 2. The NSU baseball season opener is just 2 days. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlie Apostoro. The NSU baseball season opener is just 2 days away. It seems just yesterday the Cubs won the World Series, and here we are. Baseball season is near with MLB spring training and a new beginning for the NSU team. They're being led by a first-year head coach and their upperclassmen who will be stepping it up after losing some players from last year. The anticipation is definitely here.
I was actually talking with Coach Dugas the other day about the most butterflies I've ever had before was my first time as a graduate assistant, way back when that was, and haven't had it that bad since, but it's the first time you don't affect the game like you do as a player. But yeah, I'm sure we all will. We'll have some butterflies, and we're working a lot for this season and this this opening this weekend. So I'm sure I'll have a little bit.
I think it's been really good. Last year it was kind of a timid vibe, but this year I feel like with Barbie and the new coaching staff, it's more of aggressive and it's more of a confident feel.
It's very important, we need a lot of guys to step up. We lost a lot of good players last year to the draft and seniors, so it'd be important for me and other guys to step up and produce this year.
When it comes to the NSU women's hoops team, they're taking a road trip this next week, including a Play for K game on Saturday, where teams throughout the country raise money for the K Yao Foundation to battle breast cancer. Coach Dupuis talks about why this day is meaningful for him.
My mother was stricken with breast cancer when I was 4, and it's something that she doesn't necessarily like to talk about, doesn't even like to be recognized. But I like to remind her of how hard she fought. It was tough on not only her, but my dad as well. I can remember being 4 or 5 years old and having conversations with my dad about dying and death. And, I can remember my grandmother pulling me back, at her house when my parents had to leave to go to MD Anderson for my mother's treatment. So, that's 31 years ago, but it's something that sits in my head all the time. And you just see all the brave women that have fought through this disease, and it's something that needs to be honored, and I'm glad we get to do that this Saturday.
NSU student athletes took part in a financial education course Monday called Let's Talk Sense. They learned about balancing their personal budget and money-saving tips. Football junior Nigel Dora said, "I learned that I need to manage my money and make sure that I'm financially stable for my future." Team USA's Carly Lloyd is heading across the pond this spring. Lloyd has agreed to join Manchester City's women's club on a short-term contract. Lloyd will now be on the current champs of the Football Association Super League. After this stint, she'll return to the U.S. to play in the National Women's Soccer League. Of course, Lloyd was so clutch for the U.S. and got a hat trick in the 2015 World Cup final. I'm sure a lot of us in America remember that.
A big game right there.
Yeah, huge.
Thanks, Charlie.
No problem.
Frustrated singles let it all out with a pillow fight, where this Valentine's Day tradition takes place, and the cost to clean it up. That's next on ABC 31 News. Many in San Francisco ditched the cards and flowers yesterday for Valentine's Day for a fun-filled tradition. Hundreds participated in the city's annual free-for-all pillow fight. It's an event that gives total strangers a chance to playfully hit each other with some soft pillows. San Francisco's Department of Public Works is in charge of cleaning up after this, now, as you can see, slightly messy event. That cleanup reportedly costs about $5 grand. It's a lot of feathers to clean up from the looks of it.
Yeah, a good way to take out some of that frustration, you know, of maybe being alone on Valentine's Day. Some people get a little down on that, but
yeah, I suppose so.
It's, you know, other people are just another day. So, what do you
Or
do about
I just
that?
want to join in for a good old pillow
It
fight.
does look kind of fun.
Yeah, it looks like a good time.
Well, should we take one last look at our forecast?
Yeah, we sure can. Temperatures are going to drop back into the 30s here overnight tonight. We'll look for lows in the mid to upper 30s by tomorrow morning, but then sunshine returns for your Thursday, 64 degrees, about where we should be this time in February. Little rain moves in on Friday, but look at that weekend, upper 70s to low 80s for high temperatures with lots of sunshine through Sunday.
All right, thank you, Chris. Have a great night, and thanks for watching ABC 31 News.